Hello again, everyone. I'm here with my Moonman A1, and I've had a request to show how this can be filled. So in the video where I talked about my everyday carry B6 Slim Folio where I carry this, I talked about how the filling mechanism is pretty much the same as the Pilot vanishing point. So while that's true, there are a few minor differences. So let's go ahead and get in here and fill it. This happened to run out today, so when I decided to go ahead and film that, and then you can see how it's filled. So I have off to the side here a paper towel, which I'm actually going to put the pen on. Yeah, let's leave it doubled up. This is a shop towel, which I use for a lot of things, and they're really, really great because they're really absorbent and they don't pill, they don't give off any fibers and that sort of thing, but they're really great and you can use them for a long time. So this is not about the shop towel though. This is about filling the Moonman A1. So the ink that I already have in here or that just ran out is this Robert Oster Hot Pink. So I'm just going to fill it with this again. That way I don't have to clean the pen, but there's other reasons for that too. Okay, so this is the way it is closed. So you have that capless way of putting the nib out there. And so in order to open it up, you have to unscrew this back part. And there's a little bit of a spring there, so it pops back. And then you take this whole unit out to fill. So actually I think I will take this, it's a little tight in here. Okay, so this is the converter that's in here. So it is a little bit different than the Pilot converter that fits in the vanishing point. So this does not have a little agitator in here oh, I don't have it handy, otherwise I would show you. So the Pilot version has little balls in here that agitate the ink, and it's basically their smaller converter, which I tend to hate because I can never get a full fill. And on this one, I can't really get a full fill either, but I'll show you how I've been filling it. And you could also eyedropper the ink, well, or use a syringe to get the ink out of the ink bottle and then syringe it into this area here. I don't have a syringe handy today. I've moved my office around and I'm still sort of trying to get everything together. But you could fill this that way, and that's probably the best way to fill this. Just make sure you don't fill it too far up. I would say stop right about here where this line is so that it can still seat. But I'm going to show you how I fill it just with the converter attached to the nib unit here. And this nib unit is very similar to the Pilot nib unit, but it isn't gold, and it's just steel, a steel nib. So let's go ahead and get to the bottle of ink. It's just going to be a short video because it won't take that long. And let's go ahead and open this. And then so you can just dip this in all the way up to here. So dip it in to the ink all the way up to there. Oh, and what I should have done first was put the piston down in the little filler here in the converter. So once that's down, you just put it in there and then you screw this to get ink up into the converter. And I usually try to do that a couple of times. And let me make sure I'm not actually all the way down in there. I try to do this a couple of times so that you can get as much ink in there as you can. But you will see here in a minute, let me close this, that it is not a full fill. So if you look at it from here, it looks like there's no ink in there at all. But if, oh, let me wipe the ink off this top part here. But you will see that if I tap that, the ink falls down in there, and it's probably about half full with that. So I'm actually going to tap it again so that it goes back up to the front. And then we simply place this back in. There's a little notch here where this notch is in the body there, and so you want it to be able to push down in there. And then let's attach the back. This is a little tricky because it will try to spring out on you, but that's essentially it. And then we're ready to go. Let me get, actually, let me just use my ink swatch book here. I have a little notebook in the back for testing. It's not the best paper, but it does work for testing inks and things. Looks like I have quite a few pages filled already, so I'm going to move this so we don't get ink on that. And then this should just be, yep, ready to go there. So basically I'll have to fill this more often the way I've just filled it, because you can only really get sort of a half fill that way. It still lasts a while, and because this is an extra fine nib, it doesn't flow, a whole lot of ink doesn't flow out of it at a time, so it's okay. It probably would be better to do the syringe fill on this, but that is how you can do it without any extra equipment. And this is, I still find it to be a nice writer, and I think it's a really good alternative to the Vanishing Point, because if you can find it, they seem to go out of stock quite a bit. If you can find this, it's quite a bit less expensive than the Vanishing Point, obviously, but I think it works pretty well, and I was actually surprised at how good of a writer it is. And let me actually get my Everyday Carry. I had replaced, because I didn't want to fill the ink, so I had replaced this with my little Pen BBS with the mini Fude nib here that I have dropper filled. And this is a true testament to the secure nature of this being dropper filled, because it didn't leak anywhere, and I was carrying it around for a little while. But I'm just going to put this one back in so that I can have this one. This is really, really convenient for using on a calendar. First off, because it is an extra fine, so I can get into the little details of my calendar. And it's nice to just be able to click it and have the nib come out and not have to worry about putting a cap somewhere and all that kind of stuff. So I will put a link down below to the video where I went through the setup. It actually was in a different folio before, and I have since moved it into a folio with the Denali leather from Chic Sparrow, which is really, really nice. It molds around my inserts really, really well, but it holds them all really well. But it's the same setup, just with a different leather. So I'll put a link to that video down below so you can see that and see the A1 and how I'm using it. All right, well, that's all I had for you today. Just a quick video today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Feel free to subscribe to keep track of future videos on my channel. And I hope to see you next time. But in the meantime, have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.